A great deal of what we feel about love has been shaped completely by movies.
Been feeling so lonely, restless and blue.
I mean, in our lives, we compare it often to the movies, and that's how we define things and then communicate about them.
Searching for something when I look in your eyes, I just might fall in love.
I think it gives folks a sort of unrealistic goal. It sets the bar a little bit too high.
Hi.
Hi.
You look good.
You look good yourself.
This generation remembers the movies they saw more than they remember the books they read.
Are you in love with him?
Nothing could separate them because they knew it was right, it was real, it was
a movie. That's your problem. You don't want to be in love. You want to be in love in a movie. Read it to me.
It was the first time I think a movie reference was used within a movie, and it was a kind of acknowledgement that people now growing up have movie references as much as they have anything else in their memories of childhood.
It's a sign that I have watched this movie too many times.
Oh, Annie.
After Sleepless in Seattle came out that following Valentine's Day, we got so many phone calls asking if we were going to put the large red heart on the side of the building, and the people were kind of heartbroken to hear that that was computer generated and it wasn't real. It also increased, I think, everybody's romantic interest. People wanted to bring their dates here, people wanted to propose here.
Walter.
One of the things I always tell the actors as we work on this movie is that it isn't a movie about love, it's a movie about love in the movies.
Cary Grant, right?
You know that movie?
One of my wife's favorites.
It's also a movie about love in the movies, and how odd it is, really, that love in the movies defines love in real life.
This is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. What's so great about it? You have to find her, Jonah. You have to go to her.
See, I think it's about love. I don't know if it's just about love in the movies. I mean, insofar as it's an amazing thing to set up someone in one end of the country falling in love with someone and knowing that this is their destiny. I mean, maybe the idea of destiny is a movie idea.
The thing is, you always say, well, there's always one person out there who's meant for you, and eventually you'll cross paths.
What do they call that when everything intersects?
The Bermuda Triangle.
I have a weird story about this. I met my wife in 1981, felt the need to talk to her. She blew me off. Met again in like 1983, 84, had that same experience, didn't know it was the same person. I had no idea it was the same person until we'd been dating a year. I found a picture from that night, and I said, what were you doing there that night? We put it together. It was the same person, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, a little bit, but she's an attractive blonde, and, you know, you had felt the need to talk to an attractive blonde. Wow, that's eerie.
What if I never meet him? What if this man is my destiny and I never meet him?
Your destiny can be your doom. Look at me and Rick.
It's so amazing to fall in love that it feels as if it almost couldn't have happened if you made a left turn instead of a right turn. It feels like such an amazing thing that I believe that you then have to explain it as destiny.
When I was growing up, I used to think, God, where is the guy that I'm going to marry? Where is he right now? What's he doing right now? And when I pass through airports, you know, you think, you know, maybe wouldn't it be strange if I just saw my old boyfriend, or we passed through Chicago O'Hare at exactly the same. If we ever talked, you know, we would find out that we passed in this airport or on the street at exactly the same moment.
I was in Atlantic City with my family. Cliff was a waiter. He wasn't even supposed to work that night, and suppose he hadn't.
We imagine that there's something that we can do to find him or her. And this piece, this movie, tells us how Meg Ryan found her soulmate and empowers us to do that.
It's about finding the person that's right for you. How crazy it can get, how simple it can be, how hard it is to see the person's right in front of you and you just don't see it, and what it takes for you to, for suddenly, you know, the clouds depart and you go, my God, that's the one.
Come on.
Anybody who's in a long-term relationship or who gets married can sort of ultimately whittle it down to the day they met the person and they went up and talked to them and they went out the next day. So there's, you know, you could say love at first sight with your wife because you're married to her.
And love has this powerful thing, like death. It could happen at any moment, and it happens magically, and I just believe that.
Well, it was a million tiny little things. That when you added them all up, it just meant that we were supposed to be together. That's all. And I knew it. I knew it the very first time I touched her. It was like coming home, only to know home I'd ever known. I was just taking her hand to help her out of a car. And I knew it. It was like
magic.
Magic.
Magic exists, but it's a very flighty thing, and you can't manufacture it happening between two people. It comes along and conks you on the side of the head, and you don't even know it, and you never expect it.
The follow your heart stuff can be a continual source of renewal for a relationship. It's something that is of value.
The fact that it's just about a feeling, it's about your heart going out to someone, it's about magic, it's the intangible, this feels right.
Well, now, who could live without romance? It's like water. It's just necessary in my life, and in Annie's life too. You know, she really, I think she learns that that's something she really requires.
Walter, she's just a magical person. Like Tom, they're both magical. She has amazing heart, and she's an awesome comedian. And it's very unusual to find that combination.
I remember all the security guys were so impressed with Tom Hanks. They said he was just like a regular guy. He sat around and had coffee with them, just as you see him in movies, he was in person.
It's like, she's the world's greatest person. Tom Hanks is the second greatest person in the world. She's attracted to him.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Thank God my life is in place.
Dating is a necessary evil that should really only be thrust upon certainly nobody out of college. College and under, they should have to do that. But you should be able to get stripes that say you don't have to do that anymore.
There is no way that we are going on a plane to meet some woman who could be a crazy, sick lunatic. Didn't you see Fatal Attraction?
You wouldn't let me.
Well, I saw it, and it scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of every man in America.
Fatal Attraction. I mean, that's the big moment that I remember we got on our draft, which is great. And it's the opposite of An Affair to Remember. It's the dangerous side of romance, and I love that that's in the movie, too.
You don't know who this person is. You're projecting your own stuff on this. Don't meet this person. If you do, bring a couple of guards with you. Make sure it's a public place.
Some pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
You're the most attractive man I ever laid ears on.
Through the miracle of storytelling and making movies, you know, he already has a visual image that personifies that person who is the second chance. And it just happens to be the woman who is the second chance. Isn't that goofy the way that works out? So his relationship with Annie is good and pure and instinctive, even before they even meet face to face.
New York's a very romantic city, and it's not something you can explain. It's not like Paris, where everyone knows why Paris is romantic. New York is edgy, and there's a lot of friction and energy, and yet it's as romantic a place as I've ever been. And I do think that when you think of the New York landscape, you think of the Empire State Building.
The Empire State Building's always had this kind of romantic aura to it. I don't know why. People have always associated love and romance with the building, which is great.
I think it wouldn't if you put it in Seattle. But there is something about the parade of skyscrapers in New York, which is just a very beautiful sight. And it's it's the jewel in the crown.
It's you.
It's me.
I saw you in the street.
Are you Annie?
Yes.
You're Annie?
Yeah, I think that you can see how these people really need each other to complement each other's points of view. And that's why I hope you're invested in waiting for them to get together at the very end of the movie. If they get together at the very end of the movie. Ooh, will it happen? Will it happen?
I think all the many great love stories end at the moment that the life begins. All of Jane Austen's books end at the moment of the engagement. They never end in the middle of the marriage. So who knows? I think they have a good chance. I think they're very suited to each other.
They're just perfect for each other. And they're in separate worlds, and that's the whole point, you know?
He said hello.
He said hello, and what did you say?
All I could say was hello.
Oh, my God.
Well, movies embolden us to do that. They empower us to follow our dreams. It's part of the service that they fill in our life. And this movie is about romantic fantasy.
These are things I'm willing to get to the bottom of.
You know, the idea of movies is to sort of
take you out of reality.
It's to take you out of reality and to sort of hypothesize about what we could be.
Once you've fallen in love, the only place you ever fall in love again is the movies. You go into a movie theater and you get to re-experience through someone else's love affair on the screen all the feelings that you had when you first fell in love. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about going to the movies.
I could be happy with you by my side, but
MFEO.
Made for each other.
It's cute. It's like a little clue.
I just might